really glad to see the names of the people who are here joining me. Wow, the difference a year makes. I will say, for those of you who were with us last year at this time, I know you're not all sixth grade parents, so a lot of you were here with us last year at this time. We had different questions and different concerns and situations that we wanted to talk about, and it just, for me personally, as the principal and being able to serve this community that I've grown to love so much, and the age group that I love so much, it just feels so good that I'm not the new girl anymore, and that this is my home. So kicking off this school year has been a lot of fun for me, and I thought I would just start our time together here with sharing something I did on the first day of school. But before we get too much farther, I want to tell you, I'm not going to keep you here for a long time because I really want you to be able to tune in and look at the videos that your child's teachers have made. But if you have questions as we're going, please put them in the chat box. And what I'm going to do is, when this is over, I will make an FAQ list, and I'll email it out to you this week when we get the questions answered, because I know you may, as I talk or as we're going along, you may come up with some really good questions. So just please put those in the chat box for me, and I'll send the answers out to everybody, because you're probably not the only person with that question. But to set the tone for our school year, I wanted to do this object lesson with our whole school, and it's something that I did with 8th graders last year on the last day of school. And I realized that it's just something that I wanted to share with the whole school this year. But I don't have my $100 bill anymore, but you can see this picture. I don't know, it may not show up as well because I've got that screen behind me. Hold on, I can take care of that real quick. Maybe. Anyway, I have a picture here of a very crumpled $100 bill on this tag board. And what happened to it, this is the one I actually used on the first day of school, but we had a school-wide gathering in the gym, which was fantastic and amazing because we had not been able to do that for an entire year. And I loved having the whole school in there with the students yelling 3 years, 2 zones, 1 freedom. And I got it on video, and it was epic. I loved it. But before we dismissed, I shared with the whole school this story about a $100 bill. When I held the $100 bill up in my hand and I said, "Who wants this?" They all raised their hand and said, "Of course I do." Everybody in the gym wanted the $100 bill. And so then I started telling the story of the $100 bill's life that Mr. Ben Franklin was living. And he hit a few bumps in the road. And as you all know, you don't have to live very long, even if you're living your best life and having your best life, that we hit a lot of bumps in the road. But every time that the $100 bill had something unfortunate happen, I would crumple it up. It even ended up on the floor, and I stomped on it. Then I could straighten it out and smooth it out, but then it was still wrinkled. And when I finished the whole story, the students were, looking at me like I was pretty strange. And I said, "Now, do you still want the $100 bill?" And they all raised their hand. Of course, they wanted the $100 bill. And the next morning, I had a drawing and chose a student who got to win the $100 bill. And of course, after that, I got lots of questions of people wanting to do the $100 bill drawing again. But I printed out a copy of the picture of the crunched up $100 bill with this message that I wrote on it. And I've had each teacher hang this in their classroom because I want our students to understand this lesson about their value and their worth. Like this beat up $100 bill, no matter what you've done or what's been done to you, you are still just as valuable. A one-of-a-kind masterpiece, and nothing can change that. And I signed it, Love, Miss Nolan, because I feel like our kids are growing up in a generation where they have the opportunity to be way more gritty and resilient than my generation did, but they are facing some challenges that I never had to face. And regardless of the time that you grew up, parents, you need to know this too. Your value never decreases either, just because sometimes things happen to you or you do things that you're not proud of. You are a valuable, one-of-a-kind masterpiece, and nothing can change that. So that's the tone that I wanted to set for our school year moving forward. And I've enjoyed some of the feedback that I've gotten from your kids about that. And I thought that might be interesting to you too. Some of you may have seen it on social networking on Instagram or Facebook, because I did share it on that, but it's just a good story, good way to start the year. So that's how we welcomed in the school year on the first day. And it's hard to believe. In some ways, it's like this is really the middle of the third week. And then in some ways, it seems like we've been in school for 3 months. So I don't know. It just depends on the vibe. I really can't tell you, speaking of the vibe, how good it feels in Freedom Middle School. So this year for curriculum night, I think our teachers have done a really great job of creating some videos for you. And of course, these are posted on Canvas. So if you choose when we dismiss from this, you can just jump straight to Canvas and go through your child's schedule and look at the videos. My admin team, Mr. Gluckson and Ms. Townsend, the three of us created, ours is very short, like 3 minutes, but we give you an overview of some things. But also our instructional lead strategist, Cassie Fainter, has created a video, and hers is very all-encompassing, in which she talks about the grading policy and covers all of that for everybody. So you won't hear that same conversation over and over with all the teachers. You'll really want to listen to that and listen to her, because she covers a wealth of information that's all encompassing. So make sure that you check that out too. And you'll see that your teachers dive right into their curriculum and content, and you know what they do best and what they love to teach your kiddos. New to this year with our academic teams, they are our culture teams also, if you will. Instead of having teams made of one science teacher, one social studies, one math, one ELA, we have each content area is a team. For example, if your child has a 6th grade ELA teacher for homeroom, then they are going to be on the team with the 3 ELA teachers. But that team that they're on has nothing to do with the fact that those teachers teach ELA. Same thing with science. If your child has a homeroom teacher that's the science teacher, then they are on a team with the science teachers. And I don't want to spoil all of that information for our teachers, but they will share their team names with you, and they all have a freedom twist to them, like the fireworks or the Liberty Bells. So tune into that. You'll see that in the videos. Something else that we have that is really unique to us this year, they will touch on it, but I just thought I might expand a little bit, is our star time. And in middle school, our homeroom time, that is approximately 30 minutes, is actually connected to our lunch period. So we're in the mornings, when we call it homeroom, they're only in class for about 5 minutes. That other homeroom time, we've called it ELT, for extended learning time. This year, we've just added a little flavor to it. On Mondays, they do any kind of review, catch up work that they need to do. But on Tuesdays and Thursdays, they have, we call it star time because it's a choice based on their interests. And I don't know if you saw my email last week in which I explained to you on Wellness Wednesday, we reviewed our star. I'm actually, can you see my shirt? I'm wearing my One Freedom Star shirt today because it is Wednesday and it is Wellness Wednesday, but you can see the 5-point star. And not to redeliver my email to you, but when we talk about the 5 points of our star, it really defines who we are. So this star time, it involves all of our teachers have come up with an activity, a group, if you will, of something that they are interested in. And Cassie Fainer created this amazing opportunity in which students were able to go in and see this list that teachers created. They didn't know the teacher connected to it, but it could range anything from crafting to studying sports statistics to learning about the environment. I don't want to be a spoiler for all of that too, but the students got to choose their first, second, and third choice for star time to go to that teacher's room for homeroom time 2 days a week, Tuesday and Thursday. And I've gotten to experience this, and it is so cool because I covered for a teacher this week, and the students that all ended up in her class, in which she's doing like cursive writing and designing and drawing, they came in there and they were so creative and interactive. But it's a time when these kids can find that common ground and, you know, build relationships with people who like to do something that they like to do. But not only that, they can also build relationships with a teacher who has the same interests and the same likes and concerns. And so we're using that as kind of, it's a great time. It's not academic. There's no grades being taken, and a time for them to just build those relationships and enjoy learning about something, extending their knowledge about something that they're interested in. So we do that 2 days a week. And then of course we have our Wellness Wednesdays, and then Fridays during that time is kind of a catch-up day as well. So remember, if you have any questions about that, put those in the chat box and I will address that, and we can circle back to it if needed. This is, I mean, I don't see anybody's faces or anything. I don't see any activity at all. Ms. Fainter, do you see anything in the chat box? No, nothing right now. Okay. Good deal. Well, our videos tonight are all on Canvas, but they're linked to our YouTube. And we would love it so much if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel. We want to build that up. We've started it last year during basketball season. Now, I believe one of our very first broadcasts was right before a basketball game, but we want to build capacity there. And I think the students will really get interested in that as well. But we would really appreciate it if when you go on to one of those videos, if you would go ahead and subscribe to our channel. So thank you so much for tuning in. I know that some of you jumped in a little bit late, and that is okay because we did record this and I'll send it out to you. As always, I am here for you. There are no questions too great or too small. I am all about communicate. I just feel like that is key. We have so much to be proud of in our community with our students, our camaraderie. Are we perfect? No, but we sure can always strive for excellence and continued improvement. So that is all I have for tonight. Well, I wish you were live in person. I do much better with a live audience. It's more interactive. But I do appreciate seeing your names here and the fact that you've taken a minute to stop and listen to me talk about our great school and brag on you as a community. And I wish you the best. Reach out if you have any questions. Thank you, Colleen. Thank you, Nicole. And as always, y'all know how I like to end meetings. If you've been around me before, you ready? 3 years, 2 zones, 1 freedom. Have a great night.